Welcome back to another Birmingham Racecourse and Casino starting lineup here at ABC 3340. We do it every Saturday morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock. It is our Final Four show today. We're going to be giving you our Final Four a little bit later on here and who our national champions will be coming up on Monday night. We have a Kip perspective. Bone Fragments today. I'm going off on Tiger Woods.
Oh, okay.
I promised I'd stay away from this. As a man who knows much about the addictive properties of the things he's gone through, I'm going to have a couple things. I'm going to tell Tiger Woods how he needs to go out at the age of 50. So we'll get into that. And the legend, he's going to be in the cave. What you talk about today, man?
In the cave today, I'm going to talk about the Final Four, and I'm going to talk about what the Alabama Crimson Tide needs to do to make the Final Four. Keefer, what about Kip's perspective today?
Kip perspective is going to zero in on what is going on with this Big Ten SEC. They were big partners this time last year, not so much now, and I'm going to tell you why on Kip perspective. And we're very excited to have a special guest today on the show.
Yeah.
John Cook, the new general manager of the Birmingham Barons. The season is right around the corner. They're on the road this weekend, but we'll be at home on Tuesday. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. So don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. You're watching the Birmingham Racecourse Casino starting lineup on ABC 3340.
Welcome back to another edition of the Vegas Heaters as part of the starting lineup. I'm Case Keefer, longtime sports bettor, sports betting writer, and assistant sports editor for Greenspun Media Group here in Las Vegas. Includes Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Weekly. And what a day. Happy Final Four day. Finally playing down to a national champion. So nice that I could talk to you here about the matchups all set, not having to worry about scheduling or anything like through the rest of the tournament. I will say a little bit of an underwhelming Final Four from our futures positions from right before college basketball tipped off. I gave you most of the futures, I bet. Thought we were looking in a really good position to get multiple teams in. Only end up getting one. Of course, that would be Michigan. I did hint last week, though, that I was really worried about this Illinois team. Think they're really clicking right now, which brings us to a good segue to the first game, which is a game I really like in this one. And to be honest, it is laying the points with Illinois. I just think no matter how you slice this, I have to get this over a possession. I know what UConn did to come back against Duke was incredible, but hey, they dug themselves in that hole in the first place. I think this Huskies team is pretty flawed, and Illinois, when they're playing at their best, moving the ball around, play so well defensively, healthy. They weren't healthy for stretches of the season, which I think hurt them. I just think Illinois is on a different level. So still at one of the four biggest sports books, legal sports books in the nation, they're still -1.5, -115. I think that is crazy. I think you lay the -1.5 any day. I know most places they're 2. Still 2 is fine with me. All the way up to that 3, I think I'm fine. You're not going to find huge value in the Final Four. This market is so sharp by now. So much money has poured into here. So it's weird I even see a delta between my number and what the market is right now at this point. But all the way up to 3, I really like Illinois in that game. So if I would have told you that I have a pick, a strong confidence pick on one of the games and not much of an opinion on the other game, you probably would have guessed the flip-flop if you watched all year. Like I mentioned, we gave out Michigan even before the ball tipped, I think 25 or 30 to 1, whatever it was on the show at the time. Really riding with the Wolverines. And to be honest, if you've listened to the show, I've been down on Arizona all year, picked against them. But I have to back up and say, I have to admit, I've been wrong. This team is incredible. Could easily win the national championship. I make this number right about where it is, so I will have no bet on here. I will just be saying go blue, go Wolverines. And I really do think Michigan is still the better team, but I think they're the better team when everything's clicking. I think when they play at their top level, no one in the nation can beat them. We've seen it most of this tournament against St. Louis, against Tennessee for sure. But the way I've kind of been couching is I think Michigan has the highest ceiling. To me, Arizona has the highest floor. Does Michigan bring their best? I think they win. If they're sloppy, as we've seen throughout times this year, Arizona could easily beat them. That's just one I'd like to say sit back and enjoy. That's what I'm going to sit back and pray that Michigan wins. So that's my thoughts on the 2 Final Four games. Next, we've got a reputation to uphold here. The first golf major of the year will be underway by the next time you watch our show. Now, we've hit the Masters winner 2 years in a row on here with guys we bet way back, the year before. I think probably October, November range. Scotty Scheffler 2 years ago, Rory McIlroy last year. Got great numbers on those two, both double digits. Not looking as great this year. The first guy I gave out on here was Tommy Fleetwood. Really good number, though, 40 to 1. You can't quite get that still. He's down to 25 to 1 now. I wouldn't bet that. He's not on the best form. Hopefully he gets it together at the Valero Texas Open here. And then the worst case, we bet Colin Morikawa 28 to 1 a couple weeks ago. He took one swing since then, threw out his back, has not played. So not feeling great about that one. I do think he has the game to conquer Augusta National, but you can't love his health. I'd love to say I've bet someone else. I have bet one other guy. I bet Cameron Young Young this week, 30-1. Kind of fits in my classic mold if you've watched my golf stuff over the year on the show. The guy that supposedly can't get it done. Well, he can get it done now. He won the Players' Championship. What have we seen the last 2 years? Players' Championship win, Masters win. That's not really why I made the bet. I just think this guy is playing way better than 30-1. So he is the one guy I added. I think I'm going to add one more guy at the top of the board. I'm just so close I can't quite get there. I love Xander Schauffele. Always looked at him as a potential Masters winner, but he's like 20-1 right now. I wish we could just get a little higher. 22-1 would be a bite for me. And honestly, I think there's a good chance one of the LIV guys wins this year. Maybe John Rahm gets his second green jacket. Maybe Bryson DeChambeau. I know Bryson has beaten him in the last 2 LIV events. However, he was at a lot longer odds. Now they're both about 12-1. That's another one. I just want to boost it up just a little bit. It was 15 or 16-1. I would fire on either of those 2 guys. The good thing is we have a week for all split. All those 3 guys I just mentioned, Xander, Rahm, DeChambeau. The bad news is they're not playing this week, so maybe we don't know how good the form there is. The good news is they're not playing this week, so maybe the market forgets about them, gives us a little boost. So watch those 3 guys. Bet Cameron Young. That's my Masters underway. Go Michigan. Go Illinois. I guess I'm all Big Ten today in the Final Four. Thanks for checking out another edition of the Vegas Heaters.
Welcome back to the Birmingham Racecourse and Casino starting lineup. Major League Baseball started last week. It's one of the greatest times of the year, and we have a very special guest in the studio here in the starting lineup there, Kip.
We do. John Cook is joining us, the new general manager of the Birmingham Barons.
Get up, John, now, come on.
And John, everybody's excited with the start of baseball, and I know the Barons tradition here in Birmingham runs deep. But you've got Alabama roots already. Tell us about your background and how you've come to this position.
Yeah, well, Alabama is my home now. Even though I wasn't born here, I went to the University of Alabama, graduated in the early 90s.
Legend will like that fact.
Yeah, went away for a while, but throughout my baseball career, got the opportunity to come back here about 16 years ago, and now in the last year, got the opportunity to be the general manager.
That's
for the
awesome.
Birmingham Barons.
John, a lot's changed Major League Baseball. I consider myself a purist. I'm a big red machine guy. Of course, Terry Francona is my guy at the Cincinnati Reds. He used to be, obviously, with the Birmingham Barons. He had Michael Jordan as one of his baseball players back in the 90s. But a lot's changed with how we're calling balls and strikes, shortening games. And for the most part, I think the game is better now than it's ever been. What's your thoughts?
The feedback we get from the fans, and that's what it's all about, is that it is positive, especially shortening the games a little bit. We haven't seen all the changes in the AA level, the automatic ball strike. We haven't seen that yet, but at some point I would imagine we will. I think all in all, they'll keep testing things and trying to make it more enjoyable for the fans.
Do you think that we'll still, obviously we have the LA Dodgers who have won the last 2 World Series. They have the highest payroll. The Yankees are always in the mix. But teams like the Legends, Baltimore Orioles, my Cincinnati Reds, the Pittsburgh Pirates right now, I think they're 3-4, 4-3. We love to see those smaller teams obviously do well. We've seen Kansas City's do well. We've seen some of these smaller teams. Is that something that's going to be more of an anomaly, do you think, down the road? Or how can we simplify that a little bit and make it so everyone's got a shot? Or is it just what it is?
I think it's something that they just have to keep tinkering with. Now, baseball is a game where any given night you can go out there and you've got a good arm on the mound.
Unless you're
win.
Colorado.
Well, yeah. And, 100 lost seasons, we won't get in that. And the White Sox have had some troubles lately, too.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's in everybody's best interest. You want to go to a ballpark feeling like your team has a chance to win the title.
Yeah.
And I know growing up, seeing the Pirates and the Orioles and the Reds do what Big Red Machine, I think, was maybe the best team we ever had. Watching them when I was growing up. So, I think it's better for everybody when every team has a legitimate shot.
I have to ask you real quick, because before we started the show, I was a Pete Rose fan, obviously. I cannot believe that we actually had a player manager. Will we ever have a player manager in Major League Baseball again? A guy who's actually managing the team and playing for the baseball team, put himself in this old starting lineup. But you used to mention that Pete Sr. used to come see Petey Jr.
Yeah, he sure did. When I was with the Phillies, Pete Jr. was with us, and we would see Pete kind of in the outskirts, hanging around the ballpark and trying to get an eye of how he was doing. But I don't think we'll ever see that again.
I don't think so, no. Maybe from the heavens.
Frank Robinson did it for a while as well back in his career. I guess let's talk about the White Sox organization a little bit, because as you mentioned, they've gone through some rough years in transition. How hard is it to build back up to being a contender?
Well, it's a process, but I would say that what we've seen here in Birmingham the last 2 years, we've had some tremendous talent, and we've been able to capture the championship the last 2 years.
Yes.
So you could look at that and say, well, there's help on the way, and a lot of those guys that we had last year are in Charlotte and already excelling this year. So that team's off to a good start. So if you can hold that core together and maybe be strategic and get a few additions from trades, free agency, that kind of thing, you can see where the White Sox can be competitive sooner rather than later.
That's awesome. We've got a AA affiliate here, but you've got something that's anything but AA. The stadium is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the main player, and we've built that stadium, that ballpark, as we want to be Birmingham's front porch. You know, when you go to your front porch, you're home, you're in a place that's consistent, you can relax and enjoy your time there. That's what we want Regions Field to be.
Great facility, it actually is. And if you haven't been down there, you're really missing out, because we've gone periodically the last couple of years. SEC Jocks radio kickoff party is always there, and I look forward to that event every year.
We look forward to that every year, and I think this year, working with Ryan Haney and that group, we're going to do it in conjunction with our football kickoff night and kind of tie into all that.
Oh, man, that would be huge. The starting lineup will be right there.
That's a great place for you.
We're all over that, Tony.
Hey, listen, the Birmingham community has always been very supportive of every sport. A lot of people say, yeah, we get these mid-range kind of things, whether it's these G2 leagues or the Squadron just recently, this past weekend, decided to hang it up, and it certainly makes sense because they're going to be moving down to New Orleans, where they're going to be 15 miles away from the Norway Pelicans, and they're set up down there. But coming from minor league baseball, you guys have been here for a long time. I remember my first year, I was here in 1989, and I want to say Art Clarkson was running the whole show, and I want to say they ran out like their first 12 or 13 ball games in a row. I think they started like 12-0 or 13-0, and I couldn't believe it because I came from a Major League Baseball park, and so I'm down there with a tape recorder at the Hoover Met at the time, trying to get interviews with baseball players. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, you guys are 12-0. That's amazing. I wanted to talk about it on the radio, on this new radio station we had, and we were blowing and going as well. How do you keep it special? You always have some of these wonderful ideas, some great promotions you have. I mean, I know you do a lot of fireworks, but talk about some of the things you do have coming this season too.
We try to remember that it may be someone's first visit to the ballpark every night, and keep it fresh. You know, we do have 19 fireworks shows, which is great. If you like that, and fans love that. We've got a lot of giveaways. We've got some great promotion. We're doing every Tuesday it's Cinco somewhere. That's our new theme. And $2 2 for $5 tacos, $5 margaritas.
Nice.
You know, and Sundays are now 205 Sundays to tie into the 205. $2.05 hot dogs.
I like that.
Help the wallet a little bit. Games will be at 205s. All about Birmingham. You know, and we've got some special guests. Joey Chestnut, the famous eater. Best eater in the world. He's going to be in the ballpark May 28th.
Nice.
Tackling the Birminghammer, this 8-pound monstrosity that we put together. Fans will love that.
Oh, man.
We're back at Rickwood. We're playing against Pensacola May 27th. And if you haven't been to Rickwood, I love our ballpark, but that's
a great event for sure. So. And especially, I guess, did the renovations? I guess you probably played a game there last year in the new Rickwood.
We did.
It's kind of hard to have a new Rickwood when it's been around since the 1900s, or the early 1900s. But that's a great event every year as well. But yeah, you were just describing for minor league baseball. Really special things for the fans, and constant promotion is just the lifeblood of your industry. So I know that's a challenging undertaking.
It's the most important thing, and everything we do is with the fan in mind. Yes, we have to have the baseball, and I love baseball. We have to have that to be able to put on our show.
At any level.
You know, but we're adding things like live music every night in the plaza, just so you feel like, you know, I'm somewhere. I'm getting ready to have a good time, you know, and it's consistent.
Yeah.
You know, the ballpark's clean, the food and beverage is good, the entertainment was fun, and our big indicator is the second visit. You know, we treat it like it's your first visit, but we want you to come back for that second.
Shohei Ohtani just came out a couple weeks ago and said that he's finally getting comfortable in America. Look out. I mean, the guy's been lights out, unbelievable. Is he, or can he be, the greatest baseball player, at least according to John Cook, we've ever seen, just based on what he's doing? I mean, no one's done it since Babe Ruth, where he's pitching and throwing and hitting and doing everything.
Yeah, I say yes, he can, because we haven't seen all he can do. And I think, you know, when you're that good as a pitcher as well as a hitter, you know, if he can stay healthy and manage that, you know, that who knows? He very well could be.
And he's one of the rare athletes that were hyped at 14, 15 years old. He very reminiscent of like a LeBron James. Guys that actually deliver on all you hear about phenoms all the time, but to actually go out and do it. This guy is something we've just never seen before.
And speaking some good English too, man. I mean, he's picking up that bilingual thing pretty well.
Well, he had to learn how to talk to his accountant after his problem with his interpreter a couple of years ago. So, anyway, we're really excited. Who's some players to watch for on your roster this year? I know it's transitional. You guys got going up and down, but who do we look for to stand out early in the year?
I really like Braden Montgomery. I hope he's with us a long time, but he might not be with us long. He's he plays a good outfield, and he's got all the tools.
And he came in the crochet trade.
He came in the crochet trade with the Red Sox a few years ago. We lost a lot of good pitchers last year that have gone up to AAA, but I'm sure there's some guys there that at least on paper looks like they could be good. Ryan Galaney's back. He's a good hitting first baseman.
Nice.
Rashida, our little second baseman outfielder, he's a motor on the bases. He's fun to watch. They're scrappers, and that was what was fun about last year. They manufactured runs. They found a way to get on base. They found a way to get runners
Small
up and get them in.
You gotta love it.
Hey, John, thank you so much for your time, man. Greatly
Appreciate it.
Have a great season. We're looking forward to being down at the ballpark and introducing Birmingham to some of your players and all the things that are going on. So count on the starting lineup. We want to beat you and be in our starting lineup.
Maybe Keeper throwing out a first pitch one night, maybe.
Hey, I can still bring it.
Pick the date. We'll make it happen.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you,
very much.
John.
This is starting lineup. Welcome back to the Bone Fragments, brought to you by the Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Mother's Day is coming around the corner. Father's Day is coming up. You want to get a full spa, man, I'm talking top of the line. Go to the Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. And also, our good friends at Alabama TKD, also known as Taekwondo, Master Sarcella, is going to be here next week. Breaking boards. And we don't know what's going to be on those boards. I have a feeling we're going to have some Auburn stuff on some of these boards. He can be breaking everything, maybe breaking Legend's head. He'll be in here from Alabama TKD. That is Alabama Taekwondo, one of our great sponsors and sponsors of Bone Fragments. Speaking of boneheads, it's hard to believe that Tiger Woods has the same number of DUIs that John Daly has in majors. Think about that for just a minute. He's got 2 DUIs. Now, John Daly, of all the guys out there on this tour, does not have a DUI. We've got a problem here with Tiger Woods. We've got a relapse issue. Having gone through this process myself and being a recovered man myself, I can kind of spot this from a million miles away. He's 50 years old, and Tiger Woods has got a problem driving. You would think a guy that is worth $500 million, that's got all the money and resources in the world, would never have to get behind the wheel of a car, period. But you know why he does it? Because he has a problem with this thing called surrendering. He cannot give it up. His ego's too big. He's too damn competitive. He's the best of the best, and that's what makes Tiger Woods good. That's what makes Tiger Woods one of the greatest golfers we've ever had. That's why he's one of the greatest athletes we've ever had. He's super competitive in everything he does, but he will not give up the steering wheel. I'm imploring you at this point. You can go to Mexico, you can go out of the country, you can get judges to allow you to do whatever you want to do to get better. You can't run away from an addiction, okay? You can't run away from it. It's going to find you. It's the most patient thing in the world. You got to surrender to your Lord and Savior, to the man upstairs, to the God of your well-being, and realize that you're just a humble human being. You're a grain of sand on the beach of life, and you are one hell of a golfer. I love Tiger Woods. I love what he's done for the sport. I think he's one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen across the sports. I think he's fantastic. I want to remember Tiger Woods as a person that I loved. I want to remember you as a great father. You have an 18 and a 17-year-old who, of course, is also going to have that gene of alcoholism and DUI. Think about them a little bit when you do these things and get behind the wheel of a car going 90 miles an hour. Stop doing it. Hire somebody, go get help, and come back clean. And then I implore you to go on the senior tour where the fans are the biggest, best fans. We get the Regents Charity Classic here. They're all over. Get an opportunity to meet your fan base that grew up with you, because we're all in our 50s now. We would love to see you at those things, and we will love you until you put your putter down for the final time, hopefully at the ripe old age of 95. In the meantime, you're not a bad man trying to get good. You're a sick man trying to get well. Our thoughts and prayers go out to you, and we hope you do well, Tiger Woods.
Oh, welcome to the Legend Cave, where few men have ever stood. I'm talking C.M. Newton, Wimp Sanders, the legend. Hey, let's put a wrap on the Alabama basketball season and talk about the Final Four and talk about what Alabama needs to do to return to the Final Four by giving you examples with the team in the Final Four. Woo! That was a lot to get out here in the Legend Cave. But first, let's look at Arizona, Michigan. The reason they are here is quite simple. They have paint thugs. Michigan has paint thugs. Arizona has paint thugs. They're 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot across the front. Hell, you can't rebound when you're 6'6", 6'5", Nate Oates. The first thing Alabama needs to do is go get some paint thugs, Nate Oates. Go get you some 6'10" and 6'11" guys that don't want to shoot a three-pointer but want to get a damn rebound, Nate Oates. I like Arizona in this game to beat Michigan. Michigan is a 1.5-point favorite, but I like Arizona. The next game, Illinois against UConn. Illinois is a 1.5-point favorite. I like Illinois in this game to beat UConn, and the reason is simple. European pro players. Illinois has 4 European pro players. They got a European pro team. This brings me to my second point, Nate Oates. Your ass needs to be on a plane headed to Europe right now to find the 3 best European pro players in the world and bring them back to Tuscaloosa. We need paint thugs, and we need some of them European 7-footers over there that Arizona's got, that Michigan's got. You get the message, Nate Oates? You're close, but you're not close enough. I like Arizona against Illinois in the final. I like Arizona to win it. Alabama, go get some paint thugs. Go get some European pros. And next year, we'll be in the Final Four. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the legend. Plum Sports Insane.
Welcome, everybody. Kip Perspective brought to you by Horse Racing Development and Breeding in Alabama. And if you want to get involved in the sport of kings, we're in Derby season. It's a great time to look into it. Give us a call, 205-838-7470 at the Birmingham Racing Commission. We'll give you all the information you need. I want to talk a little bit about expanding on a subject that I brought up last week. You know, remember when we were kids in the schoolyard, the stupid things when you're a little guy and you've got another kid kind of talking trash and you say, well, my daddy could beat up your daddy. I remember those days. Everybody thinks their dad was the biggest beast on the block. Well, I mean, we're having a situation right now that's very painful to admit. But right now, the Big Ten's daddy is beating up our daddy. And we can talk and bluster all we want. Just a couple of years ago, we wouldn't have said that, because Greg Sankey came in as a guy who had been under Mike Slive, the great commissioner from the SEC, that really led this kind of golden era in the early 2000s. Sankey took over and didn't miss a beat. Greg Sankey was the biggest kid on the block, and the SEC had tremendous success, and also fired really the first big shot in this reformation of the college football landscape when he just shockingly announced that Texas and Oklahoma were joining the SEC. Well, that did exactly what it was designed to do, keep those teams from seeking out another conference like the Big Ten, because that's the 2 big guys that were to choose from. So that was a good move, but it also triggered a counter move in the Big Ten, where they got rid of their previous commissioner. They brought in Tony Petitti. And from here on out, I'm calling Tony Petitti by a new name. I think I introduced it to you last week. He has operated more like Tony Soprano. What Tony Soprano has done is extraordinary in the Big Ten, and it's flipped the script, because this guy has come in and created the most successful league right now, surpassing the SEC. And you know how hard that is for me to say from the SEC standpoint. And I'm not just talking about championships. I know they have 2 teams in the Final Four today. That's not what I'm addressing. The SEC still, from top to bottom, is the superior league. But I'm talking about the business model and understanding what's happening on the college football landscape right now. Tony Soprano has played it perfectly, where Greg Sankey is kind of a traditional guy. He came up through the regular ranks. He was the commissioner at a young age of the Southland Conference, the small conference. He was very involved in the NCAA. Greg Sankey does not want the same thing that Tony Soprano wants. Greg Sankey wants college football to go back to how it was. How can we go back? The big meeting at the White House with Donald Trump fixing college sports, where all the primary people in the sport, all the commissioners were there. Guess which guy of all those people did not utter a sound, didn't say a word? Tony Soprano. You know why? Because he doesn't think anything's broken. It is going exactly like he's choreographed it, and the Big Ten stands at the precipice of becoming the dominant conference because of the moves they've made, because he immediately countered with bringing in the West Coast teams, USC, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon. And from there, people say, well, that's not geographic. That's crazy. Why is he doing that? Because he doesn't care where they are. He is building NFL 2, the Supreme College Football League, SCFL, and it's on the horizon, folks. Tony Petitti has played everybody like a fiddle, including Greg Sankey, to get him to make some concessions on schedule and whatnot. That league is on the way, and it's not some rinky-dink kind of startup. You've got some of the greatest brands in sports history that are going to make up that league. The Texas Longhorns, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and the Alabama Crimson Tide, among many, many more. This is going to be the future. Tony Soprano has just made a perfect plan, and it's on the verge of happening, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So instead of looking back and saying, I wish we could turn back the clock, like everybody else spoke at that meeting, he didn't say a word because it's going exactly the direction he wants it to go.
Back at you on the Birmingham Racecourse Casino starting lineup. Our final four, you just heard it in the Legend Cave, who he likes. I'm going to go along with the same matchup, although I'm going to take the Illinois Fighting Illini to win a national title. I think it's going to be Michigan and Illinois. Illinois has held Iowa. They hold Houston under 37% defense. They've got the most efficient, according to Ken Palm this year, Illinois, of all the teams we've been talking about, the most efficient offense out there, but no one's talking about their defense. I like the Fighting Illini to win the national title for the Big Ten this year. What you got, Kipper?
Who do you got them beating?
I've got them beating UConn, my friend.
Oh, I know UConn, but what about who do you like in the other game?
I like Michigan the other game.
Okay, so you're all Big Ten.
All Big Ten, yes.
Unfortunately, my commentary reflected what Tony's opinion is.
Yeah.
The Big Ten's kicking everybody's butt right now, so we got to see that reverse. I do believe that Arizona is going to get by Michigan. I saw them earlier in the year. I think these teams are kind of reflections of each other. They've got the European influx that Legend mentioned. I do like this Arizona team. And on the other side, I agree with Tony. I like Illinois. And I think you went with Illinois, too, over UConn. So I'm looking for Arizona and Illinois in the final. And I think the Wildcats cut down the nets for the first time in like 25 years.
Wildcats 9-2 straight up in that series, and Big Ten has not won a national title
since 2001.
Since 2001.
Is that not unbelievable?
Maybe it's time. So it's hard to believe that this weekend marks the end of March Madness as we know it. It's just not.
It's gone before it gets here.
It just goes and it goes so fast. It really is going to be fantastic. That Saturday, that Monday, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to be back at you next week, and of course, a lot going on with you throughout all your life and everything you got going on radio and television.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. I hope you tuned in Game Time this morning. The Legend in rare form. We had the Bama hater on this morning, which was outstanding. Anytime you get those guys teamed up, it's fireworks and it's fun. So if you didn't catch it, it's on a lot of different places. It's available now on the Jocks website, so you can go back and listen. But we've got all that going on, and I'm going to be on the road next week. I'll be reporting from Las Vegas, so looking forward to that.
Next week, we're breaking boards with Alabama Taekwondo. We're going to see if we can break this head right here. It's going to be great. Check us out right here on the Birmingham Racecourse Casino starting lineup. Have a great weekend.